So, what if I told you the greatest sci-fi movie of all time isn't actually about space at all? Like, what if Star Wars is literally a 2,000-year-old blueprint for escaping a psychological prison?
I mean, that realization completely changes the way you watch the films, right? We are looking at a stack of sources today that prove the galaxy far, far away isn't just a space opera. It's a highly specific universal map for breaking out of artificial control systems.
Yeah, and welcome to a special dramatic teaser edition of the Deep Dive. Today's mission is to preview an upcoming, just massive exploration into the hidden, esoteric, biological, and, psychological secrets embedded in Star Wars.
Right, we are talking ancient texts like the Gnostic Nag Hammadi library, classical philosophy like Plato's Republic, all the way to real-world cell biology.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Let's start with the Galactic Empire.
Yeah, so in ancient Gnostic texts, there's this concept of a demiurge. You can think of it like a rogue artificial intelligence, a builder god who didn't create the universe, but just hijacked it.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second, because that rogue AI is Emperor Palpatine, right?
Exactly. This demiurge creates an archontic trap, which is basically a system designed to keep pure spiritual energy or divine sparks trapped inside physical bodies using fear.
Wow, so he's running this terrifying system to suppress what the movies call the living force. Wait, if we look at Tatooine, it's a desert planet where everyone is just grinding out this mundane survival routine, completely oblivious to the cosmic energy around them. Isn't that literally Plato's cave?
Yes, trapped consciousness just accepting the shadows on the cave wall as absolute reality. And what's fascinating here is how the mechanics of this trap actually work.
Because a system like the Empire doesn't generate its own power.
Right, it operates through systemic inversion. It literally has to harvest the innate creative energy of the very people trapped inside it. So Palpatine takes Anakin's natural love and devotion and, twists them into possessive fear to fuel the Empire's machine.
That makes so much sense. So if Palpatine is hijacking the spiritual energy of the galaxy, how does that actually work inside a person's body? Our sources point out that the Force is bridged by midichlorians.
Yes, and they are a direct adaptation of real-world mitochondria combined with ancient Taoist Qi blood diagnostic.
Wait, hold on. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. Fans famously hated midichlorians because it turned magic into a clinical blood test. But are you saying George Lucas was actually making a brilliant scientific metaphor?
I mean, yeah. Showing exactly how our cells translate the cosmos into intuition. In Taoist medicine, blood carries Qi, or life force. So the Jedi blood tests are basically sci-fi Qi diagnostics.
Oh, wow. So they are literally measuring the physical vehicles that carry the cosmic current.
Exactly. And biology completely backs this up through endosymbiotic theory. Mitochondria originated as free-living bacteria that formed a symbiotic relationship with our cells so we can live. Midichlorians do the exact same thing, translating cosmic energy into living intuition. The tragedy within the story, though, is that the Jedi Council reduced them to a clinical metric.
Treating it like a raw horsepower rating to control the galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. While figures like Qui-Gon Jinn saw them for what they actually were, living spiritual messengers, it's a massive critique of how institutions strip the magic out of life by trying to measure and control it.
And that institutional obsession with control leads directly to how this biological energy gets weaponized by the dark side, right? Like the Sith rule of two.
Right. It's a parasitic binary control matrix. The master hoards all the knowledge, keeping the apprentice trapped in what ancient alchemists called the Negredo state.
Negredo. So think of that as the darkest, most agonizing phase of an alchemical experiment.
Exactly. The master feeds on the apprentice's trauma and anger, never letting them heal. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's a closed-circuit psychological pathology.
Which mirrors Jungian depth psychology, where the darkest parts of ourselves, our shadow, are never integrated, only externalized and used for violence.
Yes, which totally reframes the ending of the original trilogy.
It really does. Luke Skywalker's ultimate victory isn't martial at all. He doesn't win by being a better sword fighter.
Right. By throwing down his weapon, Luke is doing something much deeper than surrendering. He's integrating his shadow.
Yeah, he looks at Vader's mechanical hand, then his own, and realizes he is on the same dark path.
And by tossing the lightsaber away, he overrides the Emperor's dungeon programming. He refuses to participate in the binary loop of violence, starving the artificial matrix of its fuel.
This is honestly blowing my mind, and we're just scratching the surface of what's coming in the full deep dive. So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Well, it means these aren't just fun movie tropes. These ancient allegories teach us how to reclaim our own sovereign consciousness against modern algorithms of distraction.
Because the modern system wants to keep you reacting to shadows.
Exactly. It wants your attention trapped in fear and conflict. The only way to win is to recognize the trap and refuse to feed it your energy.
Which leaves us with a final question for you to ponder until the full deep dive drops. Are you currently fighting the shadows on your own cave wall? Or are you ready to drop your weapons and step outside into the blinding sun?